Welcome to the joint webinar of Jeppesen and ForeFlight. I am Marcus Mart, working as a customer consultant at Jeppesen. As you have heard, the mobile FliteDeck VFR app will be replaced by the ForeFlight mobile app at the end of 2019. The fact that ForeFlight now belongs to the Boeing family as well gives our customers the opportunity to use the much more extensive platform. The topic of the webinar is therefore the easy transition from Jeppesen mobile FliteDeck VFR to the ForeFlight mobile app.
And my name is Wolfgang Österreich. I'm the team lead of the European pilot support team of ForeFlight, and I support Marcus during this webinar.
During this webinar, we will cover the following subjects. Who and what is ForeFlight and how is the app structured? The aeronautical layer in ForeFlight, which is based on a vector map like mobile FliteDeck VFR, will take the main part of the webinar. How to plan VFR flights? What functions provides ForeFlight Inflight? And which options for the flight review are available? Finally, we provide an outlook to upcoming functionalities and answer questions. Wolfgang, who is ForeFlight and what do you do?
ForeFlight was founded in 2007 and published the first navigation app for iPhone and iPad in 2008. In addition to the ForeFlight mobile app, the current Jeppesen FliteDeck Pro for commercial aviation or the military FliteDeck was developed by ForeFlight. The company is headquartered in Houston, Texas. Other offices are located in Austin, Texas and Portland, Maine. The European office is located in Odense, Denmark, where parts of the development take place. More than half of our 200 employees are pilots by themselves. This allowed them to incorporate their own experiences into the app development. The ForeFlight mobile app, available exclusively for iOS or Apple devices, can be downloaded for free from the Apple App Store. Since each pilot has different requirements, 3 subscription levels are available, which differ in capabilities and functions. Details can be found on the website under www.foreflight.com/pricing. The Jeppesen IFR and VFR navigation data, the freely accessible AIP data from Eurocontrol, as well as the option to plan and file IFR and VFR flights are included in all subscription levels. A ForeFlight subscription can be purchased directly from the ForeFlight website. The prices shown are net prices. After selection of the respective country, the valid value-added tax is added and the gross price is shown. An individual ForeFlight subscription can be used on 3 devices parallel, 2 iPads plus 1 iPhone.
While mobile FliteDeck VFR is a pure VFR application, ForeFlight offers functions for VFR and IFR. Therefore, the ForeFlight mobile app offers more functions. How can I navigate within ForeFlight?
ForeFlight has several so-called tabs. You can easily switch between the individual tabs at the bottom of the screen and retrieve the desired information. Depending on how the language of the device is set, the designations appear in local language or in English. It starts with airport on the left side and goes up to more on the right. Under the tab Airports, ForeFlight provides a complete airfield directory containing all free available AIP information. This information are downloaded once each cycle and are available online or offline. In the upper area of the respective airport information provides a summary with current weather status as well as airport elevation and traffic circuit altitude if published. Available fuel types, instrument procedures, and the most important frequencies are available as well. In addition, direct access to the 3D features or to the taxi charts can be reached in the upper part of the screen. The lower area is divided into tabs as well. Detailed weather information and runway information, approach charts, NOTAMs, AIP information and more can be found here. The tab Charts contains a management system for approach and taxi charts. These charts can be organized in own binders. The arrangement of binders and charts is synchronized between all connected devices. Documents is a complete document management system which contains all ForeFlight guides as well as further information such as all freely available AIP information from Eurocontrol or optional documents from Jeppesen, CAAs or other providers. Own documentations like aircraft flight manuals or registration papers can be shared and linked via Dropbox. Imagery contain weather forecasts issued by the Global Forecast System, GFS, and provide information about the weather up to 84 hours in advance. Here we show a 30-hour forecast for sea level pressure, the expected precipitation, and cloud coverage in Central Europe. The tab Flights lists planned or already executed flights and offers flight plan filing capabilities. ScratchPad is a notepad function which has different templates. This example shows a template for ATIS information. Via the tab More at the bottom of the screen, further components of the app like checklists, the logbook, or the weight and balance calculation can be reached. Let's go to the map view.
The Jeppesen mobile FliteDeck VFR was well known and popular for its excellent visual flight map depiction. The heart of the ForeFlight mobile app is also a vector-based map. The aeronautical layer is based on Jeppesen data. This contains both VFR and IFR information like airspaces, traffic circuits and their altitudes, VFR reporting points, runways, taxiways and more. The map window is structured in a way that you can select different map views in the upper area, activate flight planning, manage settings, or show additional information. Searching for locations and objects can be done in the search field. The map can be set automatically scroll to keep the current location on the screen by tapping the crosshair button in the top right of the screen. The button turns blue when auto-centering is engaged. In the lower left area of the map view, various map details can be switched on and off. After installation of the ForeFlight mobile app, the map view looks unfamiliar for many European customers. Therefore, it is recommended to click on the gear button for the settings and switch the map theme from dark to light. And if already in settings, switching the auto highlight feature on or off under the airspaces is possible. Automatic airspace highlighting feature highlights airspace that the planned route will intersect based on the selected aircraft's climb, cruise and descent profile, or intersect with the current flight track. All other airspaces are visible but dimmed to reduce clutter. Hiding airspaces above a certain altitude can be set with the Hide Airspace Above feature. Numbers below 500 are taken as flight level, numbers starting from 500 as feet. Entering a 99 causes all airspaces above 9,900 feet to be faded out. Coming closer than 1,000 feet vertical distance to the set limit in flight, hidden airspaces are automatically faded in again. The text size on the map can be adjusted under settings as well. Simply move the slider between the small and large T's. The aeronautical layer is a vector map just like the one in Mobile FliteDeck VFR and contains the same navigation data. When zooming in more and more, details appear, such as the traffic circuits, including their altitudes, visual reporting points and VFR routes, down to the taxiways and the facilities on the ground. The different map details, which can be switched on or off, are shown below. First, we show the roads, then the terrain, and the flight information regions. Their frequencies are displayed along the borders. Furthermore, we can display VORs, airways, and IFR waypoints. Then airspaces, and finally airports. In practice, during a VFR flight, it has proved to be a good idea leaving the airways switched off.
Information about an airfield can be shown by tapping on the aircraft symbol, and the detailed information, such as the responsible flight information frequency, the airfield frequency, and operation hours will be displayed. Additionally, the airport can be selected as a direct destination, added to a route, or displayed in a full-screen view in the airport app. A click on the 3D view button provides a photorealistic view of the airfield and its surroundings, with the area picture modeled onto the Jeppesen terrain data. Tapping on a runway direction in 3D view shows a perspective when approaching that runway. Furthermore, you can navigate freely in the 3D view. If the so-called pack was downloaded for a planned flight, the 3D views are also available offline during the flight. A click on the FBO button shows information about the airport operator. Calling the airport, copying the address to a navigation ad, sending emails, leaving comments, or updating the fuel prices are available options. As mentioned already before, ForeFlight offers the option to display different map views. The primary app is an aeronautical layer. The street map or the aerial view are maps requiring an online connection. Jeppesen IFR en route charts are available with optional purchased Jeppesen packages. The Europe VFR layer displays the free available ICAO VFR charts. These are provided by Iceland, the Faroe Islands, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Italy. Other countries charge for the usage of these maps, and therefore they are optionally available at ForeFlight. Various additional information from the right side of the layer selector can be overlaid on any chart selection. It starts with weather information and continues down to fuel prices or user waypoints. Here in that picture we show the graphical NOTAMs. It is important for all overlays that the timestamp is displayed at the top left corner, indicating the time of the last update. The NOTAM areas are mapped within the defined geographical limits. The map projection used in ForeFlight has an accuracy that prevents accidental flying into these areas. Areas with time restrictions are displayed 2 hours ahead in orange as inactive, and from the time of activation as active in red. Further available information are the GAFOR weather forecast, which are provided as area forecasts for France and Germany, whereby a click on a region shows the predicted weather for the forecasted period. For Austria, Switzerland, Croatia and Slovenia, the forecasts are available as route forecasts, and it is sufficient to click on a route to see the corresponding forecast. Further weather information that can be displayed during flight preparation is a precipitation radar over the past hours and the display of the icing conditions. The planned flight altitude can be selected on the lower right, and the forecast for the next 24 hours can be displayed via the time bar at the lower edge of the map. The same applies to turbulence prediction. Satellite images or even infrared images can also be displayed as an overlay in the map view. Finally, here is an overview of fuel prices. These are regularly queried by our data team, but also you as a customer have the option for sending updates to our team. Each pilot will find his preferred individual setup in the map view after a short familiarization.
Okay, let's move on to flight planning. To do this, we click on the FPL symbol in the map view above. This opens the planning window. First, we select the plane from the library. Let's take a Cessna 172 Skyhawk. Then we choose the planned power setting for the flight. The performance profiles, numbers for many aircraft, come directly from the manuals and are available to the Performance Plus subscribers in ForeFlight. For many aircraft types, this even includes takeoff and landing distance calculations. After selecting the airplane, you can create a route by clicking on the departure airfield and then Add to route, as well as the same procedure for the destination airfield. Additional waypoints can be added by rubber banding the magenta course line, offering a selection of all available waypoints. Here you can see the effect of the auto-highlight function by hiding the airspaces which are not related to the planned route. Another way to plan a route is just entering the ICAO codes of departure and destination directly into the FPL window. Direct overflying of airports as waypoints is often unfavorable because of the local traffic. ForeFlight offers the option to create waypoints in a certain direction and distance from existing points. In the example, a waypoint is added 5 miles south of this airport to the route. The Route Advisor is an additional planning option. Here for a flight from Friedrichshafen in Germany to Vöslau in Austria. After setting the departure time, the values for the expected flight time, arrival time and planned fuel consumption are automatically updated based on the wind forecast. Via the Route Advisor, which initially generates Eurocontrol-valid IFR routes, a VFR route can be generated by changing the flight rules and the altitude. Waypoints are automatically created every 30 flight minutes and when crossing borders between flight information regions. Of course, this route can also be adjusted manually afterwards, as here, for example, around the airspace of Linz. The planned route can also be viewed in the profile view. Jeppesen Mobile FliteDeck VFR did not offer this feature. In the profile view, you can zoom and tap on airspaces to display their information. Furthermore, tapping and holding the finger on the profile line displays the height above ground or the distance from the origin for each individual point in the profile view. If you tap the map with 2 fingers at the same time, the so-called ruler is displayed. In addition to direction and distance, the corresponding airspaces and terrain profiles between these points are also displayed in the profile view. The Altitude Advisor shows the estimated flight time and the expected fuel consumption for the planned flight in relation to the forecasted wind. Simply select the appropriate flight altitude from the list. Once the flight planning has been completed, the flight, including all waypoints, can be sent to the avionics if a device from Evidyne, Dynon or a Garmin FlightStream is available in the aircraft. The work with the map is finished here.
Further information are required to submit a flight plan. We send the planned route to flights and continue with the flight plan task and briefing. In the Flights tab, the number of persons on board can be entered, while at the same time a weight check takes place. The planned fuel quantity can be defined via fuel policies or entered manually. When updating the number of persons, the maximum allowed amount of fuel is automatically adjusted. If the value for the maximum ramp or takeoff weight is exceeded, a corresponding error message is displayed. The navlog for the flight can be accessed on top of the screen. Beside route information, the transitions between the flight information regions are listed here. The briefing contains information about the wind, icing, and turbulence conditions en route for the period of the flight, as well as sigma charts, meter TAFs, and the NOTAMs relevant for the flights. Once everything has been checked, the flight plan can be submitted via Proceed to File and finally filed. ForeFlight will send you a confirmation email.
ForeFlight also offers new functions during flight. First of all, you can fly normally with ForeFlight as it was possible with mobile FliteDeck VFR. The obvious difference is, at first, that there's no Go Flying button. The ForeFlight mobile app automatically recognizes when the aircraft is on its way. Under the already mentioned Settings switch, you can access different functions during flight. The current position can always be centered on the map by tapping on the blue marked crosshair button in the upper right corner. The map itself can be switched between north up and track up by clicking on the compass icon. The instrument panel, which can be switched on or off via the instrument button, provides further information during flight. It is displayed at the bottom of the screen and can be individually configured. Distance rings in ForeFlight are either dependent on time or distance. A very nice feature is the Glide Advisor, which shows the glide performance of the current aircraft and the area in which it can land in case of an engine failure. The Jeppesen terrain data and the current wind information are taken into consideration for the calculation. Flight Tracklogs are called Breadcrumbs in ForeFlight. This tool displays the actually flown track directly on the map. The extended Centerlines are a tool that allows early detection of existing runways and their alignment. If additional charts are used, such as the optional Jeppesen VFR approach charts or the VFR approach charts supplied free of charge by some countries, these can be displayed as an overlay on the map. For the night flight, these maps can be inverted for a better night adaptation for the eye. Another in-flight feature is synthetic vision. Here, not only the environment is represented based on the Jeppesen terrain data. Other traffic is displayed if a suitable traffic receiver is connected. ForeFlight supports both FLARM and ADS-B signals. We already discussed the profile view during the planning phase. This is of course also available during flight. The terrain and airspaces are displayed in relation to the current position. In addition, you can choose between the flight mode and the planning mode to display the position in relation to the planned route. The Hazard Advisor is a function that highlights obstacles or terrain in a color-coded way. By default, obstacles and terrain less than 1000 feet from the current altitude will turn yellow and less than 100 feet will turn red. When approaching, an acoustic and visual alert is given. A tap on an obstacle then also shows the current altitude.
Further integrated functions are available to complete the list. Checklists can be used at any time during the flight and before the flight. Recently, the speaking checklist feature was added. The logbook records the flights independently. Pictures taken during the flights can be easily assigned to the logbook entries. The calculation of masses and center of gravity can also be found in the last tab. Templates for many aircraft types are available and can be adapted for your own aircraft. Tracklogs are records of the flight tracks performed and can be displayed as graphs in the map view or also in 3D view. The app can be individually configured in the settings. This starts with settings for the appearance during night and day. If desired, ForeFlight automatically switches between modes. The Map Touch action allows you to display the legends of optional maps. For the breadcrumbs, their dwell time on the map view can be adjusted. In this example, 1 hour is set instead of the original 15 minutes. The conversion to UTC time can be done at units by switching the local times off. If you tap the word Settings on top of the screen 3 times, diagnostic files will be generated which can be sent to the team at ForeFlight.com email address. Our pilot support team consists of real people who are pilots themselves and are happy to help 7 days a week. More information about the individual subscription levels can be found at ForeFlight.com/pricing. Adding individual map options or the FLAM license required for the Sky Echo 2 FLAM receiver can be done here as well. Our teams are working on the permanent improvement of the ForeFlight mobile app. Airspace warnings and further improvements of the aeronautical layer and the base map are on the roadmap. Further, we integrate additional Jeppesen VFR navigation data. Because we provide monthly updates, this pro spill will be relatively fast. The manuals about the presented contents are available online or in the app under Documents, Catalog and ForeFlight. Links to our website with a video library or the support center can be found in the app under More and About. This information can also be found directly on our website.
This should complete the introduction into the ForeFlight mobile app. In the following, we will answer questions we have received.